Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. Um, I can't promise that I'll get a video of the baby skunks. Weather's a little rough right now. It's rainy, and I'm sure they're kind of, tucked underneath mom, staying nice and warm and toasty. And because we've got so many stray cats who come to the yard to feast and fight. They may not show back up because the cats were really, really, really interested in the babies the other day. So if they pop up again, I will have video. But I can't make any promises because, well, they're animals. They don't work on my schedule or anyone's for that matter. Okay, so, excuse me. Today, we are going to talk about Batman. Out of all the DC Universe characters, the ones I'm most familiar with are Batman, Superman, and to some extent the others, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, through cartoons when I was a kid. But Batman and Superman were the ones that I paid the most attention to. Growing up in mid to late 60s and 70s, I was blessed to see Adam West and Burt Ward as Batman and Robin. And the wonderful villains, Frank Gorshin as the Riddler, and oh my God, he was just so over the top nuts. Cesar Romero as the Joker and his makeup covered mustache because he refused to shave it, and I can't say I blame him. He would have looked weird without it, and it would have made his face just seem off. We all recognize that. Eartha Kitt and Julie Newmar as Catwoman, and Lee Meredith as Catwoman at one point. They all were good, but nobody did Catwoman quite like Julie Newmar. She was stunning and phenomenal. Burgess Meredith as the Penguin, and he was just hysterical himself. It was just it was campy fun for what it was. It was comic book brought to life because you had, when they were fighting, the bang, pow, zap, zowie, all the action bubbles that you would see in the comic books. It was great. It was great. And I grew up with this, watching Batman and Robin climb the walls with their rope. Batman in front always, always, always. At the time, it was the height of special effects and practical effects. But looking back today, with all the stuntmen doing actual stunts outside, and some of the actors, Tom Cruise, Jackie Chan, Keanu Reeves, doing their own stunts, you could see that they were actually walking on a flat set, horizontal, with someone hanging on to the fishing line wires that were attached to the capes to make them look like they were going out like they were this way instead of this way. And you didn't see the effort it took for them to climb that wall. It was just too stable. Because when you're climbing the side of a wall, you're not climbing standing straight up, hunched over a little bit while you're pulling on the rope. No, 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 no. When you're climbing the side of a wall, you're doing this kind of thing. There's no way you'll be able to do that. Gravity would grab you, and that would be the end of it. That's just how it is. So yeah, but it was a fun show, and I grew up with that. And then came some of the made-for-TV Batman movies. Adam West was getting a little long in the tooth. Burt Ward looked like he'd just about had enough of it. And then Batman was retired for a few years. And then along comes Tim Burton, who wants to make a less campy, more thoughtful. No, I don't want to say thoughtful because Christian Bale was just, we'll get to him in a minute. More a darker Dark Knight. Michael Keaton was amazing in the part. Jack Nicholson, I have been a huge fan of Jack Nicholson for a very, very long time. Still am. The man's brilliant. He, even when his face is relaxed, he's got that permanent frown like this. This is how. But when he smiles, it doesn't matter what role he's in. It doesn't matter if he's just, casually talking to someone. When he smiles, there's a devilish light to his eyes every time. And he went a little. It was a darker kind of comic book feel to Burton's vision of Batman, and I enjoyed the movies immensely. I love Batman. Batman Returns, especially with Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. Oh my God. I thought Julie Newmar was the pinnacle of Catwoman. I thought she was amazing. And yeah, and Danny DeVito as the Penguin, and this was a more realistic, more grounded in human anatomy, grounded in humanity kind of villain. What happened to baby Oswald is not out of the realm. Mothers and fathers abandon their children all the time for less reasons than because they're not quite human looking, not quite normal. I'll put it that way. Not quite normal. So what happened to Oswald is not out of the realm. It's a fact of life. It's a fact of life. All you have to do is walk along some of the dirt lanes in some of these third world countries, especially in the Middle East and Africa, and you'll see the trenches are filled with dead newborns. It is what it is. Human beings suck under the best of circumstances. We suck. Anywho, but then when they wandered into, I respect Val Kilmer for some of the movies he's done, especially when he was younger. Val Kilmer was good. He was not Batman. I'm sorry. I know Batman's supposed to be a brilliant inventor, blah, 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 philanthropist, blah, blah, blah. But his performance was flatlined. And it was what it was. And then the Tim Burton movies just went downhill from there. The biggest mistake was George Clooney. George Clooney is not superhero material. He's romantic comedy material. He's heroic physician material. But he's not superhero material. Just no. Just no. And the villains, the crappiest use of Uma Thurman I have ever seen. And let's not even get started on Schwarzenegger and his Mr. Freeze. Ugh. So that moves us to Christopher Nolan's vision for Batman. I've seen all three movies: Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. Let's start with Batman Begins. Now, first of all, Christian Bale is excellent as Batman. He gave it more gravitas than the previous versions. Of course, most of them were more comic booky, but Nolan had a vision for pulling Batman out of the comic book world and putting him more firmly grounded in the real world within reason as far as superheroes go. Batman is one of those superheroes that doesn't rely on powers from outer space that he was born with, or special talents that he was born with. Batman is probably one of the only superheroes that relies on his own intellect, his own wealth, and his own power in the realm of normal human beings. And Christian Bale just slid into the role seamlessly. The beginning of the story of Batman, from his parents' murders to when he became the Dark Knight, it was interesting. Katie Holmes was horribly miscast as Rachel Dawes. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of Katie Holmes under the best of circumstances. I've only seen her in a couple things. Batman Begins and that movie where the kids are being reprogrammed. I don't care for her. I'm not fond of her. She's window dressing. You put her in a movie, she's nice to look at, but that's about as far as I'll go for her. And yes, Michael Caine as Alfred Pennyworth. Yes. He puts legitimacy to the role and to the show. He adds some class, some humanity and adulthood to the role. I mean, no offense to the guy who did Alfred in the Burton ones, but I'm a huge Michael Caine fan. He's brilliant in everything he does as well. The way that Batman came up, or Bruce Wayne came up and became Batman in Batman Begins, it's an interesting premise. We all wanted to see his origin story, why he became what he became, because for a lot of us, we've lost loved ones. We've lost loved ones to sickness, to accident, to homicide. We've lost loved ones. And that did not turn us into vigilantes, per se. I think the only thing that really pushes us over the edge, a lot of us over the edge, is when someone hurts our children. I've always said it, and I'll say it till the day I die. If there was ever a choice between my husband and my daughter when she was a child, it would have been my daughter every single time. I was once asked, if Satan came to your door and wanted one of you, who would you sacrifice? My husband, in a heartbeat. My child was defenseless. When she was a child, she was defenseless. She needed protection, and she would always come first. And he knew this. He knew this. He didn't like it sometimes, but he knew this. Margie would always come first. And that's the way it should be. The children should always come first. So let's face it. Other than someone hurting our children, the foibles that adults get involved with on their own head, be it. I'll help if I see something going on and I can help. I'll help, no problem. I'll jump right on in. But you're an adult. You should be able to take care of yourself. Deal with your issues yourself. Having said that, I don't quite the psychological side of becoming a vigilante to avenge your parents and then turning that into a career as a crime fighter. Well, that's what going through the police academy is for. Again, don't understand vigilantism in the least unless it's for your children. And let's face it, laws do not protect the children as much as they should. And sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands, especially if it's someone with prurient intentions that has hurt your child. As far as I'm concerned, those kinds of people need to be taken out of the picture. They need to be excised from the gene pool, period, because there's no fixing them. But that's a different rant. And then we come to The Dark Knight, which I will admit is my all-time favorite Batman movie ever. Now we all were, because we're familiar with Heath Ledger's resume, A Knight's Tale and 10 Things I Hate About You, which is where I first fell in love with him, by the way. Before that, he was an Aussie up-and-coming actor, but then when he did 10 Things I Hate About You and was introduced to America, such a beautiful, beautiful man. And so humble and self-effacing. He sorely missed, along with Robin Williams and a few others. But yeah, we all were a little surprised when Nolan picked Ledger to play the Joker. We were sure it was going to be something. He wouldn't have measured up to the previous incarnations. He wouldn't have measured up to the madness of Cesar Romero or Jack Nicholson. And from what I've seen, Nicholson was rather pissed off that he wasn't picked to play it again. Sorry about your luck, dude, but you're what, 70-something? Nobody wants to see a geriatric Joker trying to... and considering the direction Nolan was taking Batman, you would not have worked. I'm sorry, you would not have worked. And the first time Heath Ledger is on screen and he's blowing the shit out of everybody, his cohorts and innocent bystanders alike, that was, yes, this is a Joker I can get behind. I love the villains. The more villainous they are, the happier I am. I also love vigilantes when they have a purpose. John Wick, vigilante with a purpose, a reason. Come on, give me a reason. So, when Heath Ledger popped up as the Joker, and then in every scene he was in, he was that undercurrent of violent insanity that made him perfect for this character. I am, and will always, The Dark Knight is my all-time most favorite Batman movie ever. Ever, 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 ever. Ever, ever, ever. I can watch it 1,000 times, and I enjoy. I told you I love the villains, and I enjoyed his performance so much, so much. It is a tragedy that he passed away before the film was released, because he could have carried that character on for a couple more movies, and it would have been so much fun to watch. So much fun to watch. And then we come to The Dark Knight Rises. I'm sure Tom Hardy is a wonderful actor. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's had roles where he was just phenomenal in them. Bane is not one of them. That stupid mask on his face, for one thing, made it difficult, very, very difficult to understand half of what he's saying. Only because, along with the mask, was the accent. It was tough. And the movie lacked any sort of flair, any sort of, it was a big man stomping through Gotham City, tearing down the status quo on the orders of Ra's al Ghul's sister, daughter, wife, Ra's al Ghul's whatever she was, because she was pissed that Batman had killed her father, husband, brother. I think it's her father. She was pissed off, so she came to take out Gotham and Batman to avenge her father. Again, vengeance, when done well and for a good reason, is fun to watch. This one wasn't. This one was not. I don't know. It spent too much time playing with Bane and torturing us with Batman's inability to be Batman. Again, Christian Bale rose to the occasion as much as he could, but there's putting a human face to your superheroes, and Batman, superhero, putting a human face to your superheroes and exploiting their weaknesses, human weaknesses, to the point where you're just not behind Batman cheering for him anymore. Superman had his weaknesses, Kryptonite being one of them, Lois Lane being the other, but that didn't weaken him as a hero. The time when Batman was recovering in that underground prison, or that wherever he was, because Bane had broken his back, maybe Batman's Batman's only superpower is super healing, because the way that Bane broke Batman's back, I'm not sure it would have been healable outside of a hospital, outside of medical intervention, which he did not get. So yeah, it strayed quite a bit away from what Nolan had done in The Dark Knight. Just my opinion. So yeah, and then this latest incarnation of the Joker. I know the movie has nothing to do with Batman, but it's an origin story of sorts, because none of us know who Arthur Fleck, the Joker, whatever his name may be, really is. But um, Joaquin Phoenix was phenomenal. He was phenomenal. I would compare his role as Arthur Fleck's in The Rise of Joker, in some parts, to Christian Bale's role in The Mechanic. That paranoia, that apparently obvious eating disorder that both of them have. The gaunt skeletal appearance of both of them, but it's been forever since I've seen The Mechanic. I'll have to watch it again. I'm not quite sure what happened in it. It was so long ago. But yeah, Joaquin Phoenix was brilliant. I have that one as well. I own that one as well, and I watch it when I feel like doing a Joker-thon. I'll watch it. I feel his frustration. I feel his pain. I feel his rage. We all do. That's why we love characters like this so much. We're all fine and dandy about the superheroes or the heroes, the people who put their lives on the line for us. We're grateful to them, and we like watching them on the TV screen do their thing. But the villains and the anti-heroes, for lack of a better term, the ones who do heroic things, but they don't do heroic things to do heroic things. They do heroic things because they're paid for it, or they do heroic things because they have to feed that rage, that constant bubbling, boiling volcano of rage that lives inside them. Equalizer is one of them. McCall doesn't do it for any altruistic reasons. He does it because he's paid, or because something happened long enough ago that he wasn't able to help somebody who he loved, and now he's a vigilante, which is pretty much what Batman is. But yeah, we love the ones who have that simmering cauldron deep within their soul, because we want to do that. We have people we don't like. We have people who have hurt us, who have wronged us, who have treated us horribly. And deep in our heart of hearts, we all know that with the right encouragement, the right equipment, the right training, we would go out there and pound ass. because it's in us. It's in us. That bubbling rage, that fury, that homicidal urge is in all of us. I don't care if you are the most peaceful Zen uh, uh, vegetarian in the world. That bubbling cauldron of rage is inside you too. All it takes is the right trigger, the right fire lit up underneath that cauldron to get it bubbling really well. And that's why we love characters like this. That's why we love the superheroes. And that's also why we love the villains. Because they do the things we want to do, that we have reason to want to do. It's a visceral thrill to watch them decimate entire cities because we're in a bad mood. And hey, let's watch the Joker just completely blow shit up. Yes, 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 yes. And because Heath Ledger does it so well, because Heath Ledger subsumed himself into the character so well, it's even more enjoyable. It's like, oh yeah, he's so much fun. And Joaquin Phoenix his role was the same way. In the first movie, I don't know whose idea it was to turn the Joker into a joke. In the second film, you took away his power. You took away the reason we enjoyed watching him in the first place. Arthur Fleck, as he was in Joker, is not capable of deep feeling for anyone. He's a psychopath. He can mime the emotions well enough, because we all know he didn't care for his mom all that much, especially when he found out that she kept the truth of his birth and the truth of his mental infirmity away from him. He didn't have any compunction at all in smothering her ass because he's a psychopath. It's hardwired in the brain. He was born that way. He has no compunction at all, just random murder. It's who he is. And then you go and you turn him into a joke. You take away his teeth. You give him. I enjoy Lady Gaga's music. I loved her when she popped up on RuPaul's Drag Race. I love that she's a humanitarian deep down, which is great because we need more of those. And she did well in, I guess, A Star is Born, the 15th remake of that movie, that Barbra Streisand movie. All props, more power to her. Harley Quinn? No. Margot Robbie's version of Harley Quinn was cute. But no. It wasn't a sequel to Joker. It wasn't. It was a vanity project for Lady Gaga, because someone wanted to have a big name music star in their 2-hour-long video, because that's all it was. It was a 2-hour-long music video. I didn't see it. I'm not gonna see it. I'm not gonna buy it, because the director completely trashed the character that Joaquin Phoenix built in the first film. Completely trashed it. Completely. No, I'm okay. So that's my opinion of the Batman franchise, from my childhood to now with the Joker. And I highly recommend, if you can ever get a hold of it or if you can find it on some retro TV channel, I'll highly recommend watching the Adam West, Burt Ward driven serial, 60s serial. It's a fun ride, and you'll probably spend most of your time laughing at the special effects, laughing at the sets, laughing at the over the top acting, but it's a fun ride. It really is. It's comic book come to life. Early comic book come to life, I'll put it that way. It's early comic book come to life before Stan Lee and some of the other writers started getting a little bit more serious with the material. They didn't realize when they first started putting out those comic books that they would be so popular or so well loved. And Stan Lee, wherever you're hiding in the afterlife, if there is an afterlife, Excelsior, motherfucker. Everybody, have a good day, and I shall see you on Wednesday.